So you were running through the structure of the night. We started with R&B. We then got... Oh, no, we did retro first, didn't we? Like, we had like a retro hour from 12?
Yeah, when we first started, when I took over from Shane, this is what Shane had built up, is that at that time, the Norwood Top 10 wasn't a thing. What we did is we did a retro set. Now, retro back in the day, mind you, this was 1998. Retro was primarily 60s and 70s, not 60s, more 70s and 80s. So Love Shack, Blame It on the Boogie, Billie Jean, all that stuff.
Pretty much the same as retro
Mickey,
is now.
Hey Mickey. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And there were two sets of those. So there was one at like 11:30 till 12:15. There was another one at like 2 till 2:45.
Yeah.
And we just learnt that over time the crowd was just getting a bit sick of that, so we decided to can the idea, and we that's when we sort of just started doing the DJ Ben's old school set.
Oh, that's right.
And so we turned the retro set into like the 90s set.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Doing Mr. Vane. And
so to run through it, it was R&B to start with. It was then we did the retro set.
No, then we did
a new music,
and stuff.
And then we did a retro set, and then we did the top 10.
Yep.
And then after the top 10 would come Craig Egan's Rock Spot. Oh, yes. Which was 3 songs. I was only ever allowed to have 3. 3 songs that were rock and roll, Triple J, my kind of, let's rock this place kind of stuff.
And to be completely honest, I don't blame him. He only had 3 songs. It was really your chance to shine as a rock star, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I got me pretending like I was a rock star. Yeah. So things like Killing in the Name of, Blink-182.
Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Foo Fighters. Yeah. All those kind of stuff. I got 3 songs to pretend like I was a rock and roll hero. I never learned to play an instrument in my life, but I pretended like I was, and it was great fun. The bouncers always hated me when I played Killing in the Name of.
Totally.
As you would, because if you're in security, and we had the best security at the Norwood, we had so many great guys.
We were very lucky.
But if you're in security and you're playing Killing in the Name of, and some dudes are pushing each other around, and the music is going, fuck you, I won't do what you told me.
That's right.
It's very difficult to get them to settle down.
Pretty much. Because that set was always so late in the night. So
that's right.
At the point in the night where I think that maybe the security were hoping we'd sort of wind people down.
No,
we were building them up big time. Like for 15 minutes of pure mayhem. It was crazy. So, that was a lot of fun. And then kind of after that, we'd often play a couple of more... come back and play a couple of the hits again.
Yeah.
And then...
This is your favourite part. 3 till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. You had your favourite part, so I had to have mine. I was always a big fan of the harder styles of dance music. For anyone that might remember, I used to host Mentasm on Fresh FM for 8 years. I'd never play hardcore, but would certainly bang out some of the harder stuff like
It's Time
Star
to
69,
Burn.
Time to Burn...
Yeah.
Sandstorm. Bongo Song.
Sandstorm's made a massive comeback.
I know. I've heard it on ads and
Triple
stuff.
J crew as well. They were doing Sandstorm Fridays as well.
So vote for that one if you like.
Yeah.
It was the ringtone on so many people's phones, I think, for years. That was kind of the Norwood. It lasted for 5 or 6 years. I think the biggest night that we had a really big night the night that you sort of planned to be your last night. I remember we both dressed up in suits. You were in a blue suit and I was in a suit and tie. We had another huge night about, I remember it was February of 2004. Unfortunately, we had a new manager that was just not into advertising. And she was like, we'll be fine. And the Alma had just started up down the road. Right. Credit to Shane and a few others there. They were doing really, really well. And the Norwood felt it, really. Yeah. It was tough. And so then we got a bit of advice from someone else in the industry, and they said, look, just a heads up, Groove Terminator's coming to town.
Right.
He's been booked to play at Heaven, it was back then, now HQ. We could probably work out a contra deal, and he could probably come and play an hour set at the Norwood beforehand. I was like, I remember thinking that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
GT's not going to come to the Norwood. It happened, and it was the biggest night I think we ever had.
It was huge.
It was absolutely massive. I reckon it was full by like 9:30, even though TRV was still going. The place was full. Biggest night we've ever had. Unfortunately, it was just dead again the next week. So I think at that point I realised, you know what, this isn't. How do I move on?
Yeah.
I found something else and left, and that was life. But you know what? Like, I think I always remember one of the best things about the Nord was that it was so geared towards, like, management always said to us, we don't care what you do with the night, just make sure that people are still coming in the door.
Yeah.
Making sure they're still spending money in the bar.
Yeah.
So I felt like it wasn't like we had rules. You know, I just ran the night with what felt right. We had fun. We had smiles on the dance floor. Minimal people were getting kicked out for various reasons.
I want to tell you one of my favourite stories of the Norwood. And I told this for years afterwards. And I remember a group of girls had come in, and as they do, they come up to it and they go, "Oh, look, we're here on a hen's night, and their favourite song is I Had the Time of My Life, and can you play that for us?" And I'm like, "All right, yeah, cool, no worries, we'll play it soon." And then, probably about 10 minutes later, a group of dudes have come up to me and go, "Dude, man, we're here on a box night, and their favourite song is I Had the Time of My Life." I'm like, "You're not getting married to that girl over there, are you?" And he's like, "Oh, we came to the same place for our hens and our bucks night."
What are the chances?
And anyway, they're all there anyway, so they went, "All right, we'll just stay, but we'll sit on opposite sides of the room and have our hens and our bucks on opposite sides of the room, so it still feels good, you know, it feels like that they're doing their dude thing and they're doing their girl thing, right?" So about 12 o'clock at midnight, we've put all the lights on in the room, and we've gone, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a guy and a girl here. They're at the same place for their hens and their bucks night, and this is their favourite song, Hit It, Ben," and you start playing it, right?
Yep.
Now, the guys on one side of the room hear all of this, and they pick the dude up on their shoulders, and they're holding him up, and they're like, "You rock." Now, the girls see this from the other side of the room, and like, "Oh, we can't be outdone by this." So they pick the girl up on their shoulders.
Yeah, right.
And in some this is one of the most beautiful, magical things I'd ever seen in my life. The crowd pass the two of them over until they're sitting underneath that huge old spinning light that we used to have.
Yep.
And they kiss right on top of everybody's shoulders. The whole crowd watching it. They kiss right as it goes, "I never felt this way before." And I'm losing my mind going, "Oh, Benny, we were a part of something here. We were a part of, two people's lives that they will remember, as that night on their Bucks night and Hens night when they, we created a really special moment for them." And I think that was kind of my favourite parts about doing those sorts of nights, was creating these wonderful moments that I reckon these people would probably still be telling the same story today.
Yeah, definitely. I'd actually forgotten about that story.
It was so much fun.
Wow.
Look, there is a tag end to that story. I can't even remember if this is even really real or not. And after everything I've just said, it sort of takes a little bit of that away. But I remember somewhere somebody telling that story and somebody telling me, "Oh, I know that couple." And I said, "Oh, wow, cool. How are they? Are they still together and everything?" Oh, they go, "No, they broke up on the honeymoon."
Oh, what?
So the moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, if you are having the time of your life, be careful. It might be the last time. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
That's terrible. Poor guys.
I hope they're still together. I really do.
So do I.
Yeah.
And if they're getting married again, I'll DJ at the wedding.
Hey, we could get you to come back and do part of the reunion. We'll
redo it in the air.
That'd be great.
Cool.
Oh, come on, kids, get back together.
That'd be great.